You gotta crack another can and do a backflip. Think trip as I'm sipping, get a good grip. We're talking life, strife, and think about the good times. When you fall from home, it can be non-stop. But crack another can and let the bumping beat drop. At the Great Wall of China or a bus stop, grab a can, curb, and think about the good times. Can on the curb.
Okay, so who's introducing us today?
What about Kat?
Kat, you ready? Can you say hello?
How's it, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Can on the Curb. Yeah, we have a bit of a skeleton crew tonight. Myself. We have Denice. Say hi, Denice.
Hey,
We have Kat.
We've got Martin and we've got Duncan.
Hey, it's the winter edition, boy. Look at us
Yeah.
wearing our fucking jackets.
Yeah, we got the couple crew. Wives
on
and
the coffee today, not on the booze. But this
Good.
counts as my can.
Yeah. I mean, if you do get thirsty, I brought many can.
Yeah, well, there we go.
We brought some
We're
glass.
sorted.
Um,
So, how has everybody's week been? Like, let's start over that one. Anything interesting happen?
I did a talent show this week,
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
which is funny because they say that it's a competition, but in the end, everybody got a prize. So
Oh,
wasn't much of a competition, but I got paid. So it was
Fair
great.
enough. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
winning, my husband.
Thanks.
Let me tell you.
She's got all the luck.
She does have luck.
Yeah.
and you got none.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
That's truth, though, eh?
I mean, I've got
Oh.
luck that I make myself, bro, but she's got that luck.
That automatic
That
one.
Automatic.
Yeah,
luck,
like
bro.
Lady Luck is on her side.
Yeah, no, it's always been a kind of thing. But I think it's because she got kind of, she sends out an energy as well. She receives it.
That's true.
They always say when you're good to people and good to life, it's good back.
Karma.
Karma, yeah.
Oh my.
Maybe that's why I have such shit luck, to be fair. But yeah,
You don't send bad energy out.
I mean,
Yeah.
not anymore. I used to. I was kind of an arsehole, bro.
So it's catching up.
It's catching up, And, it's kind of weird. Like, I guess when I was younger, I didn't even realize I was being an arsehole. But now when I look back, I was like, fuck. You're one of those kids that were like a bully. And then when people were like, you're a bully, you were like, no, fuck you. You're just being a wet, And now that I look back, I'm like, shit, people did have feelings.
We all have those kinds of things, though. Like, I think back to how I used to be with, like, my mom and my dad often. And I wouldn't say I was a bad son. But, like, thinking back now, there's things that I feel I regret, saying and doing.
Yeah, I think
Also,
that's cool,
what's crazy is when you're in a relationship, you get a whole new image of yourself because suddenly someone's there to like hold a mirror up to you and point things out that you never would have realized before. So suddenly when you're like, oh, I just thought I was being funny, and they're like, no, you're actually being mean.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn, I actually never really realized. And now suddenly someone's there to point it out and gives you a whole new perspective of yourself.
That's such a good point you just
It
made.
is,
It
yeah.
really is, yeah.
And also like many different transitions. I mean, going from an all-boys school to a co-ed school, like what boys do to each other, you think is just normal. But then when suddenly you have girls in the mix, they're like, fuck, you're actually being a real arsehole. Like, this is not even funny. Yeah, this is actually like cruel and rude. And then,
I honestly do feel you start your child off with a handicap if you want to put them in a all boys or all girls school.
I
I
agree.
mean, it depends on what you're looking for. Like, if you go to an all-boys school and you focus on sports and you want that competition, it's really, really good. It's unhealthy, I think, a couple of years ago, especially when there's a lot of corporal punishment, a lot of, like, hazing. Hazing's a good word, But it is really fun.
I'm just thinking about socialization, like in general. Like if you want a well-balanced child, you've got to put him in a well-balanced situation.
I've always thought, like, co-ed school, primary school, and then high school, all boys or all girl will work really well because then you get a good balance. But yeah, I mean, it just depends on what you're looking for. Some people thrive in the all boy, all girl
The
school.
only thing I know I grew up with is all boy, all girl. They usually just want to get that thing.
Yeah, they want to slip.
Exactly. Where if it's the same thing where like if you if you prohibit your child from having that sip of wine at the dinner table,
Yeah.
and they get that wine behind your back,
Yeah.
they're gonna fucking kill it.
They want it so much more.
You know
because
what
they
I kinda
weren't
mean?
allowed
No,
it.
exactly.
I'm not judging, it's just my way of thinking.
Yeah.
You know, like I'd say have your child just be in a balanced situation. Like when he's introduced to chicks at a young age, it's not gonna be that big of a he's not gonna wait for the fucking whole weekend
Yeah.
just to go smash.
Yeah, but it does make it fun.
I mean boys will be boys.
Boys will
Boys
be
will be
boys.
boys.
Mm.
Look,
But
I
it's
mean,
also like
sorry.
it's crazy how those kids that you saw in school whose parents were really strict and they were just on a tight leash, they couldn't really do, all the things that some of us were doing on the weekends, and then they finished high school and suddenly
Yeah.
they just went balls to the wall.
Yeah.
And like too much. Where the ones who had a bit of freedom to be teenagers, we were chilled out. We were like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, we also like to party, but calm down. Like rein it in a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I do think it very largely depends on the kind of personality your child has as well.
For
because
sure.
that's the deciding factor. You can get kids who are model students and end up being model citizens, and you can get kids who are model students and just end up being fuck ups. And vice versa as well. You can get these roughneck fucking rebellious kids who end up becoming like Bill Gates or Elon Musk, and you can get those who just end up in prison.
yeah, you know what also makes a really big impact is siblings.
siblings are.
Yeah.
Because if I think about it, like I grew up with 2 brothers and I didn't have sisters. So the thought of going to an all-girls school was disgusting to me because I was like, I just get along better with boys because I've grown up with boys. I don't know how to interact with girls as easily. And I think maybe if I had grown up with sisters, it would have been very different. Then I would have preferred to be more with the girls. And maybe for some kids who are only child, that had a big impact on how they interact with others, how they interact with, their social circles and the kind of things that they got up to. So,
Oh yeah, definitely. Like there's a big age gap between like me and my sister and my brother. So like I was around 10 or 11 when my sister was born. So that was a
big age gap.
big
It's the
adjustment.
same as me as my brother.
Yeah, it's a big
Yeah.
age gap.
It's
That's
a
a
big
big
adjustment
Very
because
big
I
age
mean
gap.
I'm the oldest, so I was used to being like the only child,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden now there's a new baby in the house, and as
Yeah.
they grow older, you have to start sharing stuff. And then when I hit that teenage hormonal stage, she was the annoying little sister, always
Of course, yeah.
taking my stuff, and
And
so-
she just wants to be older.
Yeah,
and then
so-
that makes it tough. But siblings also have an interesting effect on people. Like the way that I felt it is like, because my brother and I have a 4-year age gap. And because he started going out
He's
and
older,
partying-
right?
Yeah, he's older, at like 17, 18. So he was just like eventually at like 19, he was like, why don't you just come with me? So then I'd go out and I'd party and I'd go to Joel's and I'd go to clubs with him. But then by the time I was 18, I didn't want to do it.
yeah, you've done
And then the
it.
people my age who finally started going to clubs like really loved it, and they're like, "Wow, this is so epic! This is so cool! Let's do this every weekend." And by that stage, I was really like, "Yo, I've been doing it every weekend now for like 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm over
just
it."
want to take it
Yeah.
easy.
And yeah, I just kind of want to, chill at home and have a bra.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, nah, I want to go fucking be a chocho.
Yeah. So I mean, like I had all that sibling. I have 2 brothers and 1 sister, but because my parents divorced so early, I kind of grew up the only child. Like I had them staying with us a bit, but
Already out
Yeah.
the house pretty much. When you,
yeah, I think I
teenager.
had the best of both. Like I knew how to function with siblings in the house and as well without.
Yeah.
But when they were there, they were fucking giving me stick.
Yeah, they used to
course.
lock him in a cupboard.
I mean,
Oh, shame.
I would lock him in
Scare
a
him.
cupboard, but he's a sweet man, but there's something about him.
Sometimes he
Lock
just
him in a
needs to be
cupboard.
locked up.
Yeah, yes. Well, if you don't lock him out, he's going to go out into the world, be a creature of the night.
All on his hip.
Yeah, that's the one I was looking for. Following up.
Yes, my sister used to beat me up the worst though.
Really?
Yeah. Like the one time she beat me up with the towel, I started crying in a corner.
So now you can take it on, bro. Revenge.
I
No,
literally
I think
watched a
she's
video
still-
today
She'll still beat
about older sisters and how younger brothers, like, initially grow up with this perception that females are these violent criminals because they have this older sister that just beats the shit out of them and torments them and is like, let's go, WWE, like, let me take you down.
Do you remember what that video was?
I don't. I saw it on Instagram.
You could try to look it up quickly.
I'll see if I can find it. And they were just like, suddenly you hit puberty and it's like, enough. And you can fight back, but your whole perception of women is warped.
Well, to be fair, my brother, my little brother, is not that little anymore. Like, my mom sent me a picture of him the other day, and
He's a man now.
He's a big
yeah,
boy.
like he's a big boy now.
He's way taller than me, yeah.
Like skinny kid, but like really tall.
You know, those lanky things. You'll thicken
Yeah.
out a bit once the rest of the hormones catch up.
I think he got your kind of body.
If you're a guy and you have an older
With
sister,
90% legs.
really warps your view of women.
This was
Oh, yeah.
fair
Dude, just
enough.
remember, my upper body is exactly the same size as Catherine's.
younger brothers. You're the tough ones. You've survived some things.
I've had a whole
I have.
range of step siblings from older ones to younger ones. And to be honest, the scary thing was the two younger stepsisters that I had, they used to beat the shit out of each other. Like, I honestly, worse than what I experienced with my own older brother.
It was violent.
It was violent, dude. Like, aggressively violent. And it wasn't just, and it would be just shit, like, over nothing. You'd just be in the car, and suddenly an argument would break out. And, like, normally if an argument breaks out with my brother and I, there would first be a lot of shouting before it got physical. With them, it was just full-on physical. They used to just beat the shit out of it, like, literally beat the shit out of each other. And I'd always be like, well, what the fuck, you know? It's a very interesting thing. Girls are not as,
No, we're not as straightforward.
not as straightforward as you think, dude. Especially when they're younger.
I feel like also two siblings of the same sex don't have that, like, I don't know, kind of inhibition of what's crossing a line, what's okay to do to each other. I feel like, well, we're both girls or we're both guys, so like game on. Let's go like full swing.
Yeah.
Because I remember I also had friends that were two brothers and it got like seriously violent. And I remember thinking like, oh my God, like I'll pin my brother down and, you know, kind of overpower him,
He's
but
trying to
I'm not
spit
like
in his
throwing
mouth, right?
rocks at his head and trying to like put the kid in hospital.
Yeah, but you did
Whereas
other
I feel
things,
like
you
brothers were.
You did try and spit in his eye or his mouth. What did you used to do?
I used to tickle him.
Oh, yeah.
I used to literally, he had this pressure point on him that you could squeeze and he would just like completely collapse into a little ball. So if he bothered me, I would just go for that pressure point and then hold
That's
him
fun.
down.
Shout out to you, Jason.
Shout out, hey.
Yeah.
No, we had our moments, but I remember when I saw two brothers fighting and I was like, yo, that's fucked. Like, that's hectic.
I used to be the fucked brother. You see, the thing with me is I used to be smaller than my brother for a long time. And the one day that everything changed is my brother really, I think he like hit me and he ran away. So I went and I got the broom. So I was like, I'm gonna fucking
now.
beat you.
You went
now.
the broom route.
And my dad, when he picks up the broom and he's like, look, if you ever use a weapon on your brother, they use it on you. And I was like, oh, fuck, now I have to like physically fight him, bro. So, I mean, for a couple of years, I just let him beat me until I became bigger than him. Then I was like, away. I didn't only use the broom. The one time I hit him with the toilet scrubber, bro.
Yo,
So,
What a
time?
choice.
I
Yeah.
pulled out the hose pipe.
Not the plunger.
not the plunger, the
scrubber.
the
That dirty thing, man.
Yeah,
Minging
I
scrubber.
mean, I didn't think of it as minging back then. I just thought of it as like, what can I
It's a
grab
weapon.
to hit him
well,
with,
you
you
use
know?
it to clean shit.
Yeah, well, he was a bit of a shit that day, but he needed to be cleaned up, you know?
Oh, fair enough.
No, he's a gem of a
Like
human
one
being,
of
but yo, he was a
I
manipulative
can never
one.
really think of like any fights between like me and my siblings, or even
Because you'd win, you're like 11 years old and
Yeah.
even the
beat him
two
down.
of, but even the two of them, because like there's only a 4-year difference between my brother and sister, and they never really fought. Like they would argue a bit, but
Maybe behind closed doors.
That's
there
lucky.
wasn't really ever a fight. Like when my sister was still younger, she would only go and hide under the tables. Like whenever she and my brother got in an argument, she would always go and hide under a table.
Sure.
I don't know
I mean, it's
why.
difficult to beat on someone when they're hiding under a
Yeah.
table. You know? It's like,
But I
what do you
mean,
do?
she's a very non-confrontational type of person, like very soft-hearted, and
Mm.
Yeah, it
so I
depends
guess
on
that's
the
why.
person.
But it was always the funniest thing. And she would just hide under a table.
My siblings, it wasn't that bad. My cousins, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I remember
they
my
used to-
cousins also.
Oh, they used to bully the shit out of me and my younger cousin, Jock. And
Why were you always the victim, Martin?
no, he was the victim. I mean, I was also the victim, but I stood up for myself. At about the age of 16, something happened and my older cousin tried to bully me and I just butched James. And I just, like in the living room, I picked him up and I just threw him down as hard as possible. And he was just winded. He sat down on the couch. He's like, okay, so that's the end of the bullying with you.
Yeah, good news.
All right.
You gotta eventually.
But him, like, they would do just horrendous stuff to him. Like, they were really hard on him. And, like, yeah, me looking back on it, I'm like, oh, it's kind of hazing, I suppose. But him looking back on it, he takes it a little bit different.
Of course he will, yeah.
He's like, no, fuck that shit. I was abused, kind
He
of.
was abused, yeah. At the end of the day, I mean, you don't really know what you're going through, but when you, as an adult, and you look back,
But I mean, these
like
older
that.
brothers as well, my other two cousins, they were also just kids, for lack of a better word. So,
Just
so like, they probably did something wrong, call it abuse or whatever, but I don't think they intended it. They love their brother. They just have a really fucked up way of showing it.
Horseplay kind of thing.
Oh no, it was worse than horseplay, I suppose. Like, they were really hard on
character.
him. But they made him bloody hard, let me tell you that.
it's like I said, but when you look back on things as an adult, and you're like, fuck, bro, I was a dick.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
harsh. I was abusive. I was a bit of a shit. And then
I-
during those
I'm pretty
moments,
sure they're still the same though.
there will be, but I mean, if
They're rough guys, dude. What can you do?
I guarantee if your cousin went to them and was like, bro, you guys put me through hell,
I'm sure he did.
they would probably be like, shit, we did.
No, but I mean, like, he also reached an age where he just stood up to them, and he is a unit of a man now.
Yeah.
So, like,
They probably made him into a unit as well to be like, you will get big to defend yourself.
my other the second oldest brother told me the one time when we were at his wedding, at my youngest cousin's wedding, he told me, like, they were playing on the couch and my youngest cousin just grabbed him by the arm and told him, like, okay, so if you want to do it, let's do it.
Is this the guy that picked you up?
Yeah, he's just a beast.
Yeah, no, John-
So he just grabbed him by his arm and he said, okay, if you want to do it, let's do it. And then my cousin told me, like,
Oh,
I stopped doing it.
I'm done.
I'm done. Because that grip just told me,
It
okay.
initiated everything.
Yeah.
His bones are probably under pressure.
Well, I mean, they did it to themselves. They made him like that.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I say it molds your
Yeah.
personality. It molds you as a person.
I mean,
Like,
he was
those
a
are the kind of
skinny
things.
kid with a big head. And because his brothers bullied him like that, he started going to the gym like
Yeah.
it was nobody's business. And he
Oh,
turned
sure,
into
man.
a block of muscles.
Yeah, my head will look normal on the size of just normal.
And it did. His body caught up with his head.
Yeah. That's the wild thing about cousins, siblings who you grow up with. It really does play
And there's
such a huge
always-
role.
There's always like that one cousin that's kind of like your partner in crime. Like whenever something dodgy is going down, you know they're gonna be there.
I was
They're gonna be
always
there with you.
the kid doing the dodgy shit. I'm probably that dodgy cousin, dude, to be honest. Well, I've got one cousin who's literally like my twin. If you ask cousin, we like the same height. I mean, he is much more, he's bigger than me, if that makes sense. Not like fat wise, it's just in like size. He's just a bigger person, but he's younger than me. But he's literally like, it's kind of weird how genes work. Because I look at my brother and we're not similar in many ways. We look the same, but we don't have the same like physicality. Well, I look at my cousin Brad, I'm like, shit, dude, you're literally my clone. We could be twins. Like, it's like kind of weird.
It is
So-
wild to see what comes through with genetics.
Yes,
like
it's entirely weird.
my dad's sister,
Brenda.
she had kids the same age as my brother and I, but they moved to Australia from when we were all small. So when they came back like years later to visit, and we were all
Get us
adults,
another one.
suddenly standing next to my dad's two sisters and my cousin, and I was like, holy shit, we're all the same height and we have the same build. Like, suddenly everything makes sense.
Makes
I
sense.
am literally just another version of these women. I have the exact same body shape, height, everything. And I always kind of aspired to be taller than my mother, which is, it's not a lot because she's not particularly tall. But sadly, that never happened for me. So seeing my dad's sisters, I was like, wow, isn't that wild that I would get most of my like build from my dad's side
Yeah.
instead of my mom.
I know I'm right there with you with being taller than my mom, and in the end, that also backfired.
Yeah.
And that's strange because your dad is tall and your brother and your sister's tall as well.
Yeah, like they.
And you literally look like your dad.
Yeah, but I've got like my mom's height and her build and
Yeah.
her even like some of her personality.
Yeah,
as
more
well.
of your mom, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then like my brother and sister, they're like more towards my dad's side. Especially my brother, he looks like a clone of my dad. Like especially when my dad was younger.
Do you think personality is a trait that's passed on through the genes, or do you
Not
think that's-
genetic, I don't think. No.
Genetic.
I don't think.
Yeah.
Do you
I
think
don't
it's
think-
about hanging around people that creates personality?
Yeah, when we go nature versus nurture, I'd say personality is nurtured.
Yeah.
Is nurtured.
To an extent, because
Yeah, I mean, like,
when
well,
babies are babies, you
holding
can already see so much of their personality that does stick around.
and I would say,
But life can really like have a huge
yeah,
shift
yeah.
in that personality.
Well, you have different phases,
Well-
obviously. Like, sorry, you talk, Martin, because you've had something you wanted to say.
I'd bring it to personality defects to make my point. If you take a psychopath, now that's genetic. It's in his genes. He is a psychopath. He's born that way. But you get psychopaths that go ahead and become serial killers, and you also get psychopaths who end up being
Extremely successful
and pretty constructive parts of
society.
society. I mean, they will forever have a lack of empathy, true, but this well adjusted through the way they've been taught to socialize.
Sure.
So that's why I say when it comes to personality, I would say it's nurtured. Yeah, you're gonna have some things from your mom and your dad, but you always have that choice once you've been shown how to do it. I mean, like, we can numerous examples of people's fathers who were alcoholics, wife beaters, and they just end up being saints.
Yeah.
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 And I mean, looking again at siblings, they had the same parents, but they can be completely different.
Mhm.
Same upbringing, but just very different.
I'm a very good example of
personalities.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have very little in common personality-wise with any of my siblings.
Yeah, exactly. And it also comes down to like your experience with friends, with school, with, everything.
With yourself.
Yeah, with yourself.
Are
your
you an introspective
experiences.
person? Because I think that makes a huge part of what you're going to be. Are you able to sit down and take a good look at yourself and analyze what you're doing and how you are? Because a lot of people just simply cannot do that.
Yeah, it's
They
true.
cannot see their own mistakes.
Yeah, I've always wondered about that. That's always been something that's been a forefront of a lot of my thoughts, because like, obviously we all think that people should do that, because everyone we meet often says they do that.
Mm.
But it's like, who are the people who don't do that? And obviously, like, I know we obviously attract people that are very similar to us. It's just a normal thing, and we push the people out that aren't similar to us. But it's like, I've just never been able to think of somebody as a human who doesn't introspect. Even the people who know they're doing wrong and they continuously do wrong, I think they do introspect. I just think that the change is the difficult part.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to
Stuck
which
in their
extent
ways.
as well.
Yeah.
Because some people delve and some people delve deep. Some people will see something and say, okay, never. And some people will literally sit and fester on that thing.
Yeah.
Overthinkers, shout out.
Yeah.
That's
I think but I think EQ, IQ also has a
EQ.
massive role to play in this, because people with very high IQs that don't have a big EQ, they do introspect, but maybe they don't do it, as you say, as deep as other people.
And it goes a lot towards empathy as well.
Empathy is a huge thing.
Mm.
Empathy is a huge thing.
If you have that, if you have a lot of empathy, you can not just sympathize with somebody, but empathize with somebody.
Yeah.
You're going to think about shit, mate. Because you're going to feel their suffering and their pain, and you're going to put it on yourself, and you're going to think about it.
Yeah. Putting yourself in someone else's shoes is it is a thing that we should all try to do more.
The crazy thing about being like a kindergarten teacher or any sort of early foundation phase teacher is seeing how empathy is actually a learned trait.
Yeah.
No human being just has empathy, because you see these little kids and they cannot comprehend that that person has feelings or experiences. Maybe very few do.
Yeah,
But in
I just wanted to say I've noticed.
I've seen
In
one or two
general.
I've seen naturally empathetic kids.
Yeah, but
And that's very lucky. That's the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
But I think generally, especially as that kind of teacher, it's so important to teach kids about
Yeah.
compassion and
Yeah.
empathy, because I think the problem is that so many will grow up never having been taught that skill.
Yep.
But I think that's like a society thing now, because our world is changing so rapidly that there's a lot of pressure on children from a young age to perform academically and, you know, to be able to make a success of themselves in the future. That a lot of like education and learning focuses more on like the academics rather than the whole child, like building social skills and emotional development and all of the other
Yeah, but I
things
don't
that
think
we-
that should be placed on education. I think that's a parental thing. Like, you cannot send your child to school to learn personality traits. If that's your strategy, good luck.
No, I'm not saying that's what you should do as a parent.
Just saying that's what schools are focused on.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, think about it. Your child spends 8 hours a day at school. So I'm not saying the teachers should act as a parent, but schools should also focus on implementing strategies in the classroom or in the school that help the children to develop socially. Like, that's the one thing I like about our school that we're working at now. They do teach the kids to be like independent and helpful and, you know, all of those good characteristics as well. They instill that into the kids. Like, there's even family time scheduled into the kids' weeks so that they spend time with a mentor, like a teacher who helps them with social development and all of that. And they have like older students combined with younger students. So I think that's like a really good strategy to implement. And you can see
Depending on who the older kids are, that's
For sure.
Look, so I
But you
do
can have a
agree
lesson in everything.
that should be implemented, 100% yes, but the onus should fall on the parents when it comes to that. Because like your child, like you say, spends 8 hours a day over there, but in China more than 8, 12 about. But they spend the majority of that time with each other. And we have kids learning from kids. And most of these kids don't know jack shit about the world. That's why when they go home, the parents should speak to the child and ask, okay, what did you do today? What did you learn today? And they should build that trust with the child for him to feel it's okay to share these things.
Yeah.
To tell me, okay, this is what my friend said, and then they should be like, okay, well, this is the flip side of it.
Yeah,
You
give
should
them a
always
chance to
speak to your
understand.
child. Yeah, the parents put too much on the school,
I agree.
on the educational system, and they forget that this is your child.
Bad movies, big
We're
stuff.
teaching them math and English and theory, and yeah, we should teach them. We should tell them it's wrong or it's right to do this or that. But at the end of the day, it's your responsibility to make this and that's where I sometimes feel, and hear me out with this,
Yeah, I agree.
religion has its place.
Yeah.
Because when you come to I don't even want to say secularistic but a country where religion is taboo, those kinds of principles fall away. Because think about it, like, okay, yeah, South Africa is, and not any of us are highly religious, but South Africa is a very religious country, and the Bible says
Yeah.
that your parents should do this, which is why it's done. And it's part of the culture.
Yeah, so many schools, you know, even though maybe you were not necessarily religious or brought up to be religious, but a lot of the public schools, I think, do practice some form of religious values.
Yeah.
Of course,
You know,
we
saying-
sang the daily prayer.
Saying
every
the
day.
daily
Yeah,
prayer,
yeah.
like, or weekly thing, you know, kind of learning about what is good for God and things like that. I think that is something that they definitely teach a lot of in our public school system anyway.
But I agree with both you and Denice, because the most empathetic kindergartners I've met have always had really interesting parents.
Yeah.
Not interesting as like a negative thing. Interesting is really a positive thing. They're very hands-on, very focused, very in their child's life in a positive way. But when it comes to schooling, it should always be a link between teachers, parents, and students. So I understand where both of you are coming from, where I think that you're 100% right. Especially when your kids are young, that's when a parent has the most influence on their child. But also, if you are spending time at a school, I think school does have the responsibility to teach these things in a different light, because we are just people, and sometimes as people and as parents, we get things wrong.
Yeah.
And to get support from schools and stuff where people have to be on a very fine line can also be very important. But I do agree with you when I say that, especially at a kindergarten level, it's more up to the parents, because that's where the biggest influence is placed.
I mean, you can
like high
see
school-
how kids are like sponges.
They are.
And they literally come and they'll say things that you're like, how on earth would you know about that? And they're literally just repeating
They repeat.
I
what
do,
the
however,
parents are saying.
feel in China, in where we are, that kindergarten should pay more attention to socializing
I agree.
than
That's-
academics, which is what the government also feels.
yeah. Look, I mean, we were all kindergarten.
So we're in line with that.
Yeah, we were all at kindergarten in South Africa, where
I was not.
it was focused in play.
I was not though.
You weren't. Yeah.
No, I was raised by a maid.
Well,
And my
that's
mom.
also not a bad thing, bro, because those people also have raw life, bro. Raw life, and they're really good parents. They really are, because they also have a different community to what we grew up in, where babies are the focus of attention. But at kindergarten, Kat and I experienced that. Did you go to kindergarten, Denice?
Yeah.
It's less on work and more on play.
Yeah.
And that socializing skill is something that we
It's
still
so-
use today.
It's all you need, because that's the pivotal time for that.
But if you were with a maid the whole time, did she have you wrapped in blankets on her back?
She did.
And you feel the cold?
When she had me wrapped up.
No,
or
as an
now?
adult, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Because a lot of the guys that I speak to, when I was at school and as adults, because they were wrapped up as a baby and they were warm so often, their temperatures are off, bro. They wear like jerseys in summer and stuff like that.
Oh no, not like that.
Because your heat.
But I was on the
Yeah,
back.
with
I was on the back with a blanket.
Yeah.
I can vividly remember it.
Like I said, those are also important building blocks. Those people, those maids, shout out to you guys in South Africa. Like, you are really amazing people. And like, even they've just been a really disadvantaged place, but they're really, really amazing people. I still remember all of my domestic workers who helped me. They were lovely ladies. They were like mothers.
They become a part of the family.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah.
part of the
Especially
family.
if they stay with a family like for a long time.
Yeah. The only thing that I wish more South Africans did, and I hope if any of you listening, you should make like a retirement plan for those ladies.
Yeah.
You should
Take
really
care
put
of them as
something
well.
in place for them for when they retire, because a lot of you guys use them their whole lives, and when they retire, they don't have anything.
Mm.
So that's. But they are amazing people. I love my domestic workers, except for the one. I'm not going to say names there, bro, but
She hit a flop.
she didn't hit a flop. She was just very young, and when you're very young.
You're
Yeah,
inexperienced.
she was just going through so much in life, that I can't expect her to be good at her job when she's got like 2 kids at home. She's 23. She's there to clean my house. She's got like a whole shitstorm of
Laundry list of
problems
shit.
that I've never even experienced in my life. And now I'm expecting her to be more than just a domestic worker. I'm expecting her to be like a part of the family. It's like, geez, but she's got her own family. She's just using me for survival, essentially. So I understand why she was not a good one, but it's life.
On that point, I think it's time to
Have a
break.
break.
Yeah, I think our food is also
Yummy,
here.
yummy.
So
Meet up.
On the curb.
Welcome back to Get on the Curb.
yeah, everybody has a full belly now.
Yeah,
James-
fuck, that was really,
James
really good
Gola?
food, dude. Yeah.
I'm gonna have a taco fart.
love me some Mexican.
Yeah, I think
Let's see if
that
you
was a
can break
good one.
the 30-second barrier with your fucking tacos, bro.
Yeah, I did 30 the other day.
You did 20, bro.
30?
Oh no, I did 20.
Yeah, let's see if you
Yeah.
can break the 30-second barrier, bro.
Yeah, well, that's long.
Dude, we were sitting here, I even said to Denice, I was like, that thing's still fucking going, bro. That was an impressive,
Yeah,
very impressive.
unprecedented. That's what you call it.
Yeah, so just for listeners, FYI, they have a fart group. So they literally record their farts
Yeah.
and share it with each other.
As one should.
Yeah,
Each fart gets a special title.
Yeah, you need to add a title as well
A
and
description.
a description.
Yeah.
It's
And they
important.
have
You know.
a running record for the longest one.
Yeah, so
And there's a fart of the week as well.
Yeah, but we haven't done
for
that.
a while. Yeah, we haven't done the winner gets a beer, but I mean it's difficult to compete when Oaks have got like 4 seconds and Martin's out there pulling out 20 seconds. You know, it's a bit of a different game, bro. It's like fucking children playing rugby with men, bro. You know, it's a bit of a thing.
I got a proper ass.
You do, dude. You do. It's special.
Mm.
It's special. I think it's because Denice has never breached it, but maybe
Probably.
one time, bro.
Yeah, he's a bit dodgy of that one.
Yeah, I'm sure, bro.
Sounds like a balloon.
I'm gonna set that one out.
That sounds like a bit of a balloon, bro. The
Martin's
first time
got a
you
balloon
farted.
and Duncan's got a duck.
Yeah.
there
The
you
first
go.
time you farted out, honestly, I played it to Kat. She was like, "That's a balloon." And then you farted again, and I was like, "No, that was him. That's real. That's a full-on."
Oh, you mean because of the high pitch sound that I
Yeah,
get?
Wait,
it
it's like-
actually sounds like
That's how it sounds.
It's my hemorrhoid.
Hemi. Yeah,
It's Amy.
you can literally picture him doing that.
Yeah.
That's what I like though, is that trend of guess my fart. I reckon we could guess it pretty
Could
well
probably.
with you guys.
Yeah, Duncan's got that.
Whack, whack, whack.
And Harry has this tight.
He's got that tight ass.
Very tight off. Yeah.
That kind.
Yeah.
That proper virgin ass.
Yeah, it's never had a finger in it, that one. But he obviously has those very skinny poos as well, you know.
Probably.
Well, based on the story he told us one night. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know.
That was
the
a good
white
one.
pants.
Oh, that's such a podcast story. Let's not
Oh,
even go to that.
No,
He needs
he's
to come
gonna
and
come
tell
on and
that.
tell us that, bro.
That is probably one of the best stories that I've heard in my life.
The way he tells it's really good.
Yeah.
He's really good at telling stories.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because he's in the story, you know.
Yeah, but he needs to come. He'll come. I'll start pressuring him, bro. Be like, you owe me for my ankle, you fuck. You coming?
He's got quite the debt to pay.
He
Good
does.
God, the debts.
So, you wanted to speak about anxiety, eh?
I did. I mean, we can speak about anxiety, or the other thing that I was thinking we could talk about is like vaccines, which are a good thing because
If you want to.
that's something we were talking about. Like, it'd be good to hear your guys' opinions on that. Because, you know, like we were talking about vaccine boosters when you're a baby. Like, are they a good thing? Are they a bad thing? Like, obviously, it's better than getting polio
Yeah,
But-
of course. Yeah.
and a lot of other things. I mean, vaccines literally.
But I think the polio vaccine's been stopped already. I think polio's been eradicated or something.
I hope it has been, because, I mean, cats, doesn't your dad have polio?
He did.
He did, yeah.
My stepdad also had.
It's
I
crazy,
think.
bro. Now
No,
it's
he
got like
didn't.
a
He had something else.
shorter leg than the other one, bro. It's quite a crazy thing, but there's a whole bunch of things that are in there. I know when my child's a little bit older, I want to get the HPV vaccine as well. So there's like quite a few. Yeah, of course, bro. It's in 80% of people, bro. So there's like 200 different strands of HPV. If you're sexually active, you've probably got it. Can't test it in men. It's quite a thing. There's only like 8 to 10 that actually give you the warts, like the genital warts. So those are the bad ones. And then you get 8 to 10 more that can give you like cervix
Yeah,
problems.
cervical cancer.
cervical cancers that been linked to things like PCOS as well. HPV is a serious thing.
Yeah, I know, but there's
Yeah.
also been like studies that have shown that women who get the HPV virus have a higher risk of like breast cancer and
Yeah, it's quite a thing, bro.
the other
Look,
things
most
as
of
well.
them treat themselves. So like after a year or two, it's fine. But you can, like I was talking to you earlier about probability. Bro. If there's a percentage chance, you could fall in that percentage. I mean, you were talking about a rare condition that you have that only happens in SA, like you're saying, only like 4 to 10 people have it. Kat's also had a rare condition that really happens in a very small percentage. So it's like, do you want to take that risk? Probably not, you know.
Yeah, people always thinking, oh, it'll never happen to me, but why not?
It
If it
could.
happens to other people, it could
It
just
could.
as easily happen to
You know,
me.
whatever happens though, you live with it.
You
Such
do.
is life.
That is life.
If you don't die, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, I suppose.
For sure,
But that's the whole debate. It's like, there are a lot of things coming out now where they're saying that maybe these vaccinations are
detrimental.
actually, having a really bad long-term effect on things like neurological development and things like dyslexia, ADHD. They're saying that they're trying to do studies into whether kids who've been vaccinated have a higher chance of having those kind of learning difficulties as opposed to kids who weren't vaccinated. So it's this debate of do I vaccinate or do I not vaccinate? But then, it would be horrific for your child to get something that a vaccine would have saved them from. And it's like, how do we know?
We don't.
We don't know. It's such a gamble. It's like, well.
And I think that recently with the most recent vaccine that all of us were pretty much forced to take, the COVID vaccine, we were all very stressed because realistically, we don't know what the fuck
Strange thing, I was not. I was not stressed at all, and I suffered from it.
Yeah, because like he's got the varicose veins, and after the COVID vaccine, it actually aggravated that a lot more.
And clotting and stuff.
Yeah.
You also should have.
But I mean, I was not stressed at all because I was in perfect health. I was so fit and everything. So I was just like, oh, it's another vaccine. Okay, whatever.
See, like we were stressed because the condition that Kat had, people that had got a vaccine, a very specific one, it re-triggered the GBS. So depending on the vaccine we got, it could have, she could have relapsed into GBS as well. So I mean, vaccines I think are obviously they've changed the world forever because people were dying all the time from everything, and now a lot less of people are dying. Sorry, my English wasn't great there, but less people are dying because of vaccines. But it's always like, we're getting to that age now where babies are starting to become very prominent.
Yeah, you need to think about it, obviously.
And that's why we wanted to talk with you guys as well, to see, like, what are your guys' opinions?
The wrong ones to talk about, man.
Why? Like, any opinion's a good opinion.
Insight on this, to be
I'm just not studied up. I can promise you by the time we get to that stage where you guys are, we'll probably study up on it. But at this point, it's not a lot. Like, my kind of happy-go-lucky attitude is not the kind you want in a situation. Because I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Like, if you force me to take it, I'll take it, whatever.
No one's forcing you.
No.
You have to make the choice. So, like, just now, like, let's say, like, now, like, let's just...
Right now, if you had to tell me right now, I'd be like, no.
You'd say no.
Yeah.
And you do? Because, I mean, it depends on where we are.
That's where my overthinking and my anxiety comes in now. Because I'm going to ask you what it's for.
Yeah.
Like, if it's just for the flu, I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
Because usually those vaccines make you a lot sicker than just getting the flu and getting it over with.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it was for something more serious like polio,
Hepatitis.
Hepatitis, yeah. I'd say,
Of course,
yes,
those
because
things.
I mean, those things.
Those
like
routine
that.
things, yeah.
So let's check up there. What vaccines do you get there, babe? Because you got a whole cycle. You brought up a picture now where you get a whole...
Yeah, because it's like measles, mumps.
Because you can die from measles and mumps.
You can.
Those are pretty hectic.
I don't know if they do one for meningitis. Do they do that?
Do you get vaccinations for
These are
measles and mumps?
various.
You do, as a baby, yeah.
I probably didn't get them.
You did.
My dad didn't get
Well,
it.
I got mumps.
Did you get
Yeah.
your scar?
Yeah.
Yeah, then
Just
you've got
because
it
you're
too.
vaccinated doesn't mean you're not going to get it. It
Yeah,
just
yeah.
means if you do get it, your body
You have
knows
antibodies.
how to
Oh.
react to it, and it's not going to be as severe.
Yeah, to be fair, my mumps wasn't that bad, and my chickenpox wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Did you get mumps, eh?
Mumps and chickenpox.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
also
had
got
mumps
chickenpox.
3 times.
You got mumps 3 times.
3 times.
Never got mumps. What's mumps like? It's
Mumps,
shit.
yeah.
It wasn't that bad. For me, it was just like, oh, okay, cool. I don't need to go to school, kind of vibe.
I don't even
That's a
remember.
chickenpox.
No, like the first time I had mumps, I only got it on my left side, and it was like just a little bit.
Mine was on my left side as well.
And then I was in like 7th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I got on the left side. Then was my first year in uni,
She already got it later.
and I got it again on both sides.
Ooh.
Like it started on the right, and then it just went to the left as well. And I literally, when the hamsters stuff their cheeks full of stuff, I looked like that,
Yeah.
and it hurt, and I got like cold sores, and yeah, it was just nasty.
Just got everything, yeah.
It was nasty.
Mm.
And I got chickenpox as well. My
Chickenpox.
second year in uni.
See, because you had it later, it's going to be worse. The younger you are, the better it is.
So I had it when I was young, and then everybody was telling me, "Oh, but when you had it once, you can't
No,
get
you
it
can
again."
get it again, yeah.
And then second year of uni, I had chicken pox, and that was also horrible.
Crazy thing about chickenpox is
So-
it remains dormant inside you, so you get
Yes.
shingles, bro.
Yeah.
Shingles is the next evolution of
It's
fucking
ridiculous.
chickenpox. It evolves inside like a Pokemon.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Like
shingles is
Pokemon.
yeah, shingles is the chickenpox.
I love that. It evolves inside like a
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Bro. Yeah, I get you. Sorry, this is us. This is a
Oh, and I
thick
had
one.
measles
saw.
as well in high school.
So what are measles compared to?
Oh, measles, the rough one,
Yeah,
dude.
measles
My
were-
dad also had measles, but
You
he
can't
was,
go in the sun.
Can't go in the sun because
Is it
if
dots as well? Like
yeah, it
bugs?
is
Yeah.
dots, but like measles also affect your eyes, and it's like a bigger rash as well. It's not just
And it's hard on the liver, if I'm correct.
because like chicken pox is
Oh,
usually
fuck,
like
yes,
a
that looks
watery
hectic.
blister.
Yeah.
Yeah, measles.
And if you get it as an adult, it's really bad.
I
So is it
remember
like chickenpox
in-
gets worse with age.
In high school, they just came to school one day and were
And
like,
vaccinated
everybody's
everyone, yeah.
getting the measles shot. You don't have a choice. It's like,
does.
it's compulsory, otherwise get out the school.
Yeah, we had that as well at our school.
Yeah.
I was 6 years old in grade 1. They're like, you get in a measles thing. And
Yeah, because for measles, it's
Yeah.
a rough one. Though.
It's literally like,
So,
if you
like,
don't
when it
get
comes to
you
something
can't
like
be
that,
in
I'll
school.
probably let my child get it, obviously.
yeah.
Because the risk to reward ratio is so clear.
Yeah, look, I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair, when it comes to things like this, it's also about how extensively microbiologists and stuff have been testing this and building up a vaccine.
It's been there forever, yeah.
Yeah, so this will be something that they've tested,
It's
tried
been
out
through and it's
for a
been
long
changed
time.
and
And
adapted.
also, like a lot of schools nowadays won't accept your child if they have not been vaccinated because
Yeah.
you need to give the vaccination record, that little book,
Yeah.
to the school.
But look, like, it depends on where I lived. If I lived in an isolated part of the world, like,
Iceland.
not Iceland, let's just say, like, no offense here, but like
Coconut.
Peru, bro. I mean, I probably would risk it for the biscuit, bro, but I mean, in a very densely populated
I probably
place.
would
Like
not,
there.
because over there you're going to have a hard time getting the medical care, dude.
Fair enough.
Well,
Fair
that-
enough.
that was
like you were talking about earlier, you have to go all the way to Uppington.
The interesting thing here was a part of like the prenatal exams was testing me for certain antibodies, and they said, oh, we can see that you haven't had the hepatitis vaccine, and as soon as you give birth, we recommend that you get it. Like, you need to have that vaccine, and the baby will also get it. And I was like, oh, is it really necessary? Like, I kind of was naive to think, but I've just got one partner. Am I really at
Yeah.
risk? And they were like, yeah, it's a big problem. Like, you can get it just from sharing a meal with someone.
So I was,
So I was
so
like,
what
whoa.
hepatitis is it that they consider?
B.
Probably be.
They're always testing for B.
Let's see.
I just know the hepatitis for. I know this is going to sound ridiculous from the fucking Rick and Morty's episode where they go into that guy's Jurassic Park version. They go inside of that
Yeah.
human being, and hepatitis escapes, bro. And they're in
Just
I think they're in the
causes
colon.
chaos.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
a huge monster. So yeah, I mean that's the only reason why.
What
I
a
like
valuable
hepatitis.
education you've got.
Dude, I've got the most.
teaches you a lot.
I've got the most
Wow,
random
that's
facts in the fucking world in my head, bro. The things I remember are ridiculous.
What are you
True.
seeing? What are you seeing?
Hepatitis B. Well,
So
I mean, we see
hepatitis
this,
B can be close personal contact, any bodily fluid,
Yeah.
but not through food contamination.
Well, they always
Yeah,
So
but
test
food
for
bodily
B.
contamination
fluid, that's just
is
spitting
A&E.
everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
That's bodily fluid, bro.
Yeah.
That just reminds me of another fucking scene from a movie, fucking where this guy gets shot, bro. He's a representative for AIDS, bro, and he gets shot, and his blood goes into who's the guy who acts as Harry Potter?
Oh, Daniel.
Daniel
And it
Radcliffe.
goes into Daniel Radcliffe's mouth, and he's
Oh,
cuts.
it was the Grimsby brothers.
Fuck! What a good scene, dude.
What a good movie.
What a
dude.
good
Did you
movie.
like it?
I did, of course.
It's probably my favorite comedy.
I thought it was great.
Do you know why she says it's horrible?
What?
Tell them.
So it was like early in our relationship, right? And
Great, dude.
it was late one night, and I was like, okay, I'm tired. I'm gonna
Probably
sleep.
11, 12 o'clock
That's late for me.
on a Friday or
I'm an
something.
old soul. Anyway, so I decided like, okay, I'm gonna sleep. So he's still watching movies, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine. It's not gonna bother me. And then he came across this thing, and he started watching it. he was giggling next to
funny,
me.
dude.
Like
Could
a
not
high
stop
school
my
girl.
laugh.
It's hilarious.
So now it's
I was trying to
him-
laugh softly because she's sleeping, but I just couldn't.
So now it's him, like kind of coughing and choking
Laughing.
on a laugh, and the whole bed is shaking, and I hear
Because I'm trying to keep it in,
and
so
I hear
and I
all the
was
noise
busting.
from the TV, and when I eventually wake up and I see what he's laughing at,
Yeah.
I'm like, you've got to be kidding.
No, this is classic comedy.
this
man,
is
shit.
not
I'll
even
never
funny.
forget
Like,
the first time I
no.
watched that movie because I literally almost laughed from the beginning to the end.
No, yeah. This scene in Africa was one of my favorite.
Oh,
things ever.
mate, all of it.
Who's this actor? What's his full name?
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Fuck, he's
Yeah.
hilarious, bro. He's really good.
This to me is
one of
his best
one.
movie.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is one of his best. No, his best was Ali G, bro.
Nah, this
This was amazing.
this for me is top tier.
Also, when I watch this, I don't laugh often when it comes to movies. Like, things don't get me, but this also got me. Dude.
You know, he based his whole persona on one of the guys from Oasis.
What's Oasis again?
The
band.
band.
Oh, yeah, well. Had a bit of a poo moment there.
Wonderwall. Oh, he does look like.
He does look like, yeah, wonderful. Okay.
The guy on the left, right
there
there.
we go. I mean, he looks like that guy.
For sure.
Yeah, there we go.
I see it.
He's actually he's a very talented man. He can sing as well, dude. I watched this one, I think it was like an awards giving or like a Grammys or something, but he sang. He's brilliant.
Yeah, I've just never been a big fan.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh no, not him. Like,
I know, I'm talking about
them.
Sacha Baron Cohen as the singer. That's
Baron
Cohen.
Cohen, yeah. Whatever your name is, big guy.
Barakova.
Come to our podcast, we'll get to know your name. But yeah, he's a brilliant singer as well. He's a very talented man. Shame he just recently got divorced from the chick from Wedding Crashers.
It happens.
Yeah, Isla Fisher. Shit.
Yeah. It happens, life. Especially when you're like this, rich and famous, life is different.
Yeah.
Especially when you're fucking shoving crackers up your butt for
Bro,
movie scenes.
I'll never forget. So my brother and I, we watched Borat. And then he has another movie after Borat.
Bruno.
Bruno.
I was just thinking how.
Bruno was a little bit too much.
Bruno.
Bro, so I told my dad, my brother and I were like, come, we gotta go see this new Borat movie, Bruno. And as we're sitting in the theater, in the opening scene with the flight attendant, when they're fucking like shoving fire extinguishers up each other's ass, when my dad looks at us and he's like, the fuck do you folks watch?
Why?
And he just stood up and left. He's like, I'm done with this. I don't even know what the fuck's going on with
Oh,
this.
really blaming him.
No, I don't blame him either, but we weren't expecting this movie. We were expecting like a
Borat.
Borat. This was
Bruno was a little bit extreme.
this was
for me.
extreme. This was hectic. This was a very different kind of movie.
It was rough.
It was
He
rough.
went hard, yeah.
Yeah, actually.
Have you ever seen that? What's that thing he did? This is America or
That's
I'm
The dictator.
This America or something. I am America or something like that.
Something America where he goes around.
And he interviews politicians and like influential.
that's great,
It's so funny.
he's cringy, dude.
But
He's cringy.
like the way I wouldn't say manipulate, but it's just some of those like politicians and high end people are so moronic, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
of
with
course.
the gun.
And so easily influenced. Like he gets them to do this weirdest shit. Like that guy with the gun was literally like saying, yeah, like toddlers in kindergarten should be able to have guns and protect themselves. Like fucking babies, dude. Like
I love the little background. See the
and
classic.
he's just some
character.
Israeli fucking it's so funny, dude.
No, but he's very good. He's very smart. I think he's a very intelligent
Oh.
man. You know, especially
Gotta
like
be.
socially, bro. He's very intelligent. He knows what to do. I love people like this because his whole point about it is if you're offended by me, then I've won. That's his whole game plan, and it works perfectly, bro. I'll also never forget Ali G, bro. Yes, what a G.
Yeah. Yeah, he did something alright.
Yeah, he's
Leg.
leg. Ali G. A-L-I-G. Ali G. I-G. I space G, yeah. This is, you know that song I played the other day? Wicked, Wicked. Jungle is massive. He's there with the beanie. There he is. West Side represents. No, he's a very talented man, bro.
He's a troll.
He's a troll, bro. I wonder if he's been vaccinated, bro.
I think he had to be.
He had to be.
After the whole Bruno fucking debacle.
That was hectic.
He definitely had to be vaccinated.
Yeah.
He had some bodily fluid swapping.
He's had some things swapped in his life.
That's the interesting thing about movies is like you wonder how they can actually film those scenes without actually doing it. Because some things
Yep.
you're like, I don't know, this is definitely
It's too real.
yeah.
Yeah.
How would you be faking
Well,
that right now?
There's been this recent thing with Andrew Garfield and what's that chickie's name? Andrew Garfield and that blonde chickie from
Emma Stone.
no. What's
So I'm just trying to read the names.
Andrew
Thomas.
Garfield and well, it's some chick where they went. They said they went too far. They went too far in a scene.
Yeah.
What's her name again? She's in that Black Widow movie.
Oh, Scarlett Johansson.
No, not Scarlett Johansson. The other one, her sister.
Jennifer Lawrence?
No. They played her sister.
No idea.
Oh, that chickie.
Yeah.
Why don't you just look it up in Scarlet Witch there, babe? Not Scarlet Witch? Go Scarlet
Black
Witch. Yeah.
Widow.
Black Widow.
Black Widow. Say Black Widow. What do you mean? What do you mean? they
Pew,
went
something
too far?
Pew, something Pew. Florence or
That was literally right there.
Babe, we're looking on a tiny screen here, bro.
yeah, we can't see
Well,
that.
I can barely read the names of it.
Where they said they went too far in a scene.
But how? What
Okay.
did they do those two? For?
Well, it was a sex scene, so I don't know. You'd have to ask him, but they said they went too far.
Who's the guy that acts as the Green Goblin, bro?
Willem Dafoe.
I've seen a movie with Willem Dafoe. I
Yeah.
think it's called like it's some
Antichrist.
Antichrist. He literally, I've watched his Willy go inside.
Do you think it's his?
Yes, definitely. If you can look it up, he says that.
We can't look that up though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
we don't have to show.
Oh, so he did that scene?
He did that scene.
Oh, so they were
He's one of the
smashing.
very few actors who've actually been.
Yeah, I saw that. It went in slow-mo.
That was
In
a
the
terrible
shower.
movie. I don't like that
It
movie.
was a horrible
Yeah, it
movie.
was shit.
His nuts got crushed by a
Yes,
vice grip, or was it a spatula or something? I can't
It
remember.
was a vice grip.
A vice grip.
It was,
Yeah.
It was not a good movie, man.
That was a
some
lot.
bad reviews for that one.
I'd rather watch
just-
Bruno. Let me say.
It was just a movie that it's like off-putting.
Very artistic.
Yeah. Like it's not my kind of movie. It wasn't. I don't think it was really good. I, think
I don't
it's just
enjoy these-
supposed to make you feel for it.
These interpretive arty movies.
No, I don't like them. Yeah.
I just like a story.
The movie that you recommended that I really enjoyed, that 7 Years in Tibet, was a fucking banger, dude. It was so good.
We still have to watch Legends of the Fall.
Legend of Four, yeah. I will.
And you guys need to watch Swimmers as well.
Swimmers. What's
That's very
Swimmers?
good. It's based on a true story.
Yeah, so it's about these two. Where were they from? I can't remember.
Was it Afghanistan or something?
No, like
But the
it's
two sisters.
One of the
two
war-torn.
sisters. That's
I
why.
think I saw that. I think one of you guys already told us, and I went to watch the trailer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are they from?
Oh, you know, talking about my mum told me about this movie, and then they go to a coach and they're like, "Let me swim," and he's kind of
After they were,
resistant.
but that's not even the impressive part. Okay, spoiler alert.
They're from Damascus.
They literally swim, dragging a boat
Like, you know,
full of
these
refugees.
inflatable rafts.
Oh yeah,
A dinghy full of refugees. They drag it
Sure.
to get to safety because the thing's sinking.
Yeah,
It's
like
amazing,
it had like a
amazing.
motor on it, and the motor went out, and because
To get
There
to
were
France
too
or where
many
did they go? I
people
can't
in
even
there.
remember.
It's just a drift, yeah.
they went to
Some European country, France or Italy or something.
Like one of those inflatable, right?
Yeah.
like one of those, and then there were too many people in the boat, so they had to get out, and because the other people couldn't really swim that well, but they were like
In desperate
good.
need, yeah.
So the two girls
They
volunteered.
dragged it, dude, and they were like the one was 15 and the other one 16, something like that.
Yeah, I
Kids,
When you
kids,
can
dude.
drag that kind of boat, you'll be a swimmer. of
And
loads.
some guys were like, okay, we're gonna help because we can swim, and then they got back in the dinghy. They're like, oh, we can't do it,
this, yeah.
and they just carried on, dude. It's such. I love these motivational stories.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. It brought me to tears. I was crying like a fucking baby, but that doesn't take a lot. Like catch me on a Sunday watching Godzilla, my bro.
Cry.
Godzilla
I'm
cry.
fucking
Another
dead.
surprise surprisingly good movie that I did not think would be good was that new Kevin Hart one, Fatherhood. Or
Fatherhood.
something.
Oh, it was so beautiful.
That was very
that'll
nice.
bring you in your particular situation.
Yeah,
You would not make
That
it.
was.
Oh, you'd be
was really
weeping
good.
halfway through it.
The
No,
last-
actually, at the beginning, you'd be because I was weeping at the
Like
beginning.
his wife.
Spoiler alert again.
Yeah, spoiler alert. His wife died of complications after childbirth.
Yeah,
That's the end for you already.
That's the
And
end
it's
for me
like
already.
his journey to raise his
This
daughter
child,
as a,
yeah.
as a single father.
And what he goes
The
through.
last movie that made me cry was The Laugh of Power.
Oh, that didn't make me cry.
Fuck, I wept like a baby when I realized that.
Oh, then fatherhood's gonna destroy you, mama.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird things that make
You
me
felt bad
cry,
for the
bro.
tiger?
I didn't feel bad for the tiger. I felt bad for the fucking oak who ate that oak's mum, bro. That's what made me feel
yeah.
terrible. Once I realized those were people, I was like,
Yeah.
empathy came into a big factor there, bro.
Nothing like a little bit of cannibalism to get the tears going.
And the last thing that made me cry before that was a series called Brothers in Arms.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah, I never finished watching that.
Yo, my brother and I had a huge argument because when they find the like concentration camps, and I was crying, I was like really like aggressive to be like, how the fuck could people do this? And then obviously I think my brother didn't quite understand what I was going through, but he's like, he tried to be factual about it, to be like, oh, you know, these people were also going through their own thing and being brainwashed to be this specific thing. It wasn't Brother in Arms, that's a game. Band of Brothers.
Band of Brothers, yeah.
Band of Brothers. And, you know, like, it was such an interesting thing because they find the concentration camp, spoiler alert as well, and they first find it from the smell, bro. And, like, it's just, just thinking about what these people went through is, like, absolutely horrific.
Yeah.
And my brother was just like, yeah, but, you know, you've also got to think of it from the other perspective. And I was like, no, I'll never do that. And he's like, I mean, these people also thought they would never do it.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting thing, but it's a really, really, really good show.
You know what? It was an excellent one, that one we watched about pilots.
Yeah, I was thinking about that just now, and I can't remember. The
Oh,
name.
that was so good. And it's recent, dude. I've recommended it before.
What's it called?
Can't remember.
It's Kings of the Sky or
Yeah, something like that.
Knights of the Sky or Princes of the Sky or something like
I'll watch
that.
it, bro.
It's
I like
on.
these things,
Was
but
it on
they're sad.
Netflix or
It was on
Amazon?
Amazon.
Amazon.
These things are sad, bro.
No.
I cried in Garfield.
Oh, but come on. When Garfield looks through the window, like baby Garfield with those big eyes, I'm like, oh my gosh.
For me, it was the fact that Garfield locked Odie out.
Oh,
And then Odie ran away, and then he
Yeah.
was gone, and I was like, no, poor Odie.
There was a recent movie that got you into tears or something. I'm trying to remember what it was. Well, even Asha, I was like, are you crying? You're like,
This is so sad. I remember as a kid, like, I would see sometimes, like, my aunt crying, and I'm like, why are you crying? It's happy. And she's like, I know, I'm crying tears of joy. And I'm like, huh? What? Why are you crying tears of joy? And I didn't understand. Now, as an
sometimes do.
adult, you're just like,
Sometimes too.
that is so touching.
Like even in that swimmers movie, when like the nice parts of it got me to tears as much as the bad parts of it.
maybe I won't watch it because I don't know, bro. No.
I don't like
I
crying.
like a good
I
cry.
like a good
No,
cry.
I like a good cry when
But
I'm
it's
watching
also
a
hard
movie.
to get into it where you're like, oh, this movie's going to make me cry, bro. I don't know. But we're going to be in the right headspace.
The thing is, I hate being caught off
Me
guard
too.
where you think you're watching a funny movie and all of a sudden you're weeping and you're like, I didn't sign up for this. I thought this was a comedy.
Like
Why
that
is it
movie
so sad?
with
Find
Owen
it,
Wilson and the dog, bro.
No,
Maybe recording
Marley and
has
Me.
been stopped on this camera. Yeah, Marley and Me made me fucking weep, and I was not expecting that. And I was
Marley and
like,
Me was a tough one. Oh, Denice can't even watch stuff like that.
Bro, it got me deep.
9 Below.
Down below.
I started crying at the beginning.
From
of
the
that
beginning
movie.
to the end.
Who's
Even
the
the parts I
actor?
were, it was Paul Walker.
I haven't. Paul Walker is
Yeah.
it's a black guy, bro.
No,
Oh,
Nine
that's
Below.
8 below. 8 below. That's a different one with the sled
Oh yeah,
dogs.
8 Below with the sled dogs.
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
that one.
We think of 9 below or 8 below.
9
The
Below.
one with the
9
The
Below.
sled dogs. It's 8
Yes.
below, yeah. And it's
Yeah,
got
8
a very
Below.
famous black actor, but he hasn't been in movies recently.
No.
This
that
one.
one.
Where's
Oh,
the-
it is Paul Walker. You're right.
Yeah.
It's fucking hell.
That's the whitest guy you can find. He's got blue eyes.
Bro, when I heard about this pegging, I cried, bro. I was like,
course.
damn, this is
course.
hectic.
You know what? Which actor died and I literally felt it? Heath Ledger.
He's leisure.
When he
Yeah.
died, I went through like a week
Yeah.
of fucking mourning, dude.
Yes, he was
Really?
brilliant in the Joker, bro.
I think
The
I
other
was
Oku.
most sad for Robin Williams.
Ron Williams.
I felt that as well. Like,
Robin Williams was such
it's strange
a
because you
gem
grow
to
up
the
with
world.
these guys.
Same
Like,
with the guy from Linkin Park that got me deep.
Yeah, Chester Bennington.
Chester Bennington.
Sorry, the pilot thing on Amazon was Masters of the Air.
gotta watch it. It's so, and it's got stellar actors, dude.
Yeah.
I'll watch that, man.
It's really good.
Check the cast.
Give it a bash.
It's about like the World War II pilots, I think, and how they literally had to do like.
It's that guy who
rotations and stuff.
played Elvis, that pretty boy,
Really hard ball, bro.
that pretty boy actor who
World
played
War One
Elvis.
was terrible, but World War Two was something else, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they literally had to do like squads of pilots that
Yeah.
almost go out every day,
Dude.
like rotations.
Like
of pilots,
they had
and just
they
drop,
had
like,
pilots on
flies.
retainer, my bro.
This is, I mean, if we go into the technicalities of war here, one of the reasons why the US and Britain did so well is because they took out such valuable pilots for the Japanese. And because of that, like, you got to think about it, like, you got to have experienced pilots. You don't want young people flying.
Yeah,
all
that's
the
him.
time,
What's his
bro.
name? Austin Butler.
Oh, he's a handsome lad.
Oh, he's but you know what? Great actor.
Yeah,
Great
I mean,
actor.
I would hope so. I would hope so. It's like I feel his bed getting wetcher. Is that you or Catherine? Just relax, bro. He's a handsome lad, that oak,
He
man.
is a handsome lad.
And he plays his role well.
Yeah. Really good.
What's the, how's the time, man?
Oh, is it?
Well,
Wow.
thanks
Yeah.
for an amazing can on the Kerbex.
How's it going?
Here we go.
Special-
Episode 5.
Special people, thank you. Episode 5. Fuck, it's weird to think that.
Yeah, halfway there.
Edition.
Halfway there until we release for you bad boys. Getting camera really. Yes,
What's up, guys?
hopefully this foot will be healed by then.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Leaning on a Friday, it's a friendship. You gotta crack another can and do a backflip. Think trip as I'm sipping, get a good grip. We're talking life, strife, and think about the good times. When you fall from home, it can be non-stop. But crack another can and let the bumping beat drop. At the Great Wall of China or a bus stop, grab a can, curb, and think about the good times.